Private John R. McKinney, a young soldier from Georgia, sat under a tree with his rifle across his knees. His uniform was wet with sweat and his hands trembled slightly. It wasn't fear, it was exhaustion.
He looked at the stars through the thick jungle leaves and whispered, "If tomorrow doesn't come for me, tell Mom I tried." In his pocket he carried a small folded paper, a note he had written days before but never sent. April 11th, 1945. The island of Luzon, Philippines. John's company was asleep when the Japanese launched a surprise attack. At 3 a.m. the night exploded with gunfire. Bullets ripped through the tents. Men screamed, confused, half awake. John jumped up, rifle ready, heart pounding. He could see flashes of light, shadows moving fast between the trees. He shouted, "Get up, they're here!" For by the time his unit reacted, he was already alone at the front line. The first grenade exploded only feet away, throwing him to the ground. His ears rang, but he didn't stop. He fired back, one shot, then another, then another. The Japanese soldiers were all around him, 50 of them, but John refused to move. He crawled behind a log, reloaded, and whispered, "Not today." He knew that if he ran, his entire unit, sleeping behind him, would be wiped out. So he stayed. The air was filled with smoke, shouting, and chaos. John could see the shadows closing in. 3, 4, 10 soldiers at once. He switched from rifle to pistol, then from pistol to knife. Every sound became slower, every heartbeat louder. He was bleeding from his shoulder, his leg burned from shrapnel, but he didn't stop, he kept fighting. When one soldier charged at him with a sword, John caught his arm, twisted it, and pushed him back into the flames. He whispered, "I'm sorry," and kept going. After more than 30 minutes of non-stop fighting, the jungle went quiet again. John looked around, bodies everywhere, the ground shaking with small fires. He dropped to his knees, breathing heavily, covered in mud, smoke, and blood. He was alone. He had fought off over 40 enemy soldiers, alone. Then he heard it. A faint voice calling from behind him. "John, are we safe?" It was one of his men, alive, untouched, because John had held the line. He smiled weakly and said, "Yeah, you're safe now." Then he fell unconscious. When the sun rose, the battlefield told the truth. More than 40 enemy bodies lay around John's position. His unit survived, every one of them. They carried him out on a stretcher, and when he woke up hours later, the first thing he said was, "Did the others make it?" When they said yes, he closed his eyes and whispered, "Good, that's all that matters." Months later, in a quiet ceremony, John R. McKinney was awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest award for bravery in the U.S. Army. But when reporters asked how he did it, he simply said, "I didn't do it to be a hero, I did it because they were my brothers." He never talked about that night again. He went home, lived quietly, and never asked for fame. Years later, long after John passed away, soldiers visiting Luzon still found the old battlefield. Locals say that sometimes on quiet nights you can hear distant gunfire and a voice whispering, because heroes like John never truly die, they walk into fire so others can live. John R. McKinney's courage saved countless lives that night in 1945. His bravery reminds us that true strength isn't about surviving. It's about protecting others, even when you know you might not.